All right, good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you tonight to the Lockport Township Board's October 3rd meeting, regular meeting of the month. I'd like to start tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance, if we could. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much for being here tonight. And I'd like to start out with a roll call of officers.
Lance McCullough. Here. Mike Lewandowski. Here. John Bodisich. Here. Ron Alberico.
Here.
Highway Commissioner Shalinski.
Here. Trustee
Boyce. Here. Trustee Morelli.
Here. All right, we got a full house here tonight. Well, we are missing Debbie, okay. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Everybody should have received in their packet the minutes of the monthly meeting of September 12th, Highway Department. I need a motion to pass the minutes. I got a motion by John Bodisich.
I'll second.
I got a second by Michael Lewin, by Barbara Boyce. Any questions of the minutes here tonight for the highway? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. You have the bills of $78,959.28 here tonight. Can I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion.
I got a motion by Barbara Boyce.
I'll second it.
I got a second by Michael Lewandowski. Any questions tonight's bills?
I have one.
All right.
John, the one on the Plainfield Township,
It might be me.
for $30,000.
Yes.
If I remember right, is that our portion? Was it split, or is that, did we split that with the Plainfield Township?
It was Plainfield, Crest Hill, and our part of the road. We have about, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 feet. And so what they did was they went out for bid, and then they divided it by the actual length. So we only paid for our portion, but the whole project to get Gaylord all the way paved was a joint effort between the three entities.
Okay, so that 30,000 is our portion.
Yeah, they estimated 54,000, but the prices have been coming in really low based on the state not doing any work. So, yeah, it's actually turned out really well.
All right. Any other questions of the bills? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Lewandowski.
Yes.
Bodisich.
Yes.
Alberico.
Yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Morelli.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Shalinski, your Highway Commissioner's report.
Thank you very much. Well, there's good news and bad news. Good news, with the cool weather, grass should start slowing down, so hopefully we can take the guys off the mowers. We're going to concentrate on patching the roads. I'm working with an engineering company to go out for bid on another, I don't have the exact mileage, but another couple miles of road here before winter hits because the prices are so low. And I should be hopefully publishing that. I'll work with the clerk and get that published early next week. So that's exciting. Last month I had a question on my bills about the bird feeder. So we went back to Ace Hardware to figure out what that was and how that happened. And I talked to the manager, who was very nice. And it was just a misring, a cashier error. She rang up the bird feeder, but he checked the inventory on his shelf versus the computer, and he had one more on the shelf than in the computer, so it was determined that, you know, she just rang it up for whatever reason. So when we went back to talk to him, he gave us a credit. When I turned the bill into Fran, my secretary, we discovered that it wasn't a credit. He charged us again, mistakenly.
Oh.
So we did get a credit for two of them, but I just wanted to be clear with that. I normally don't question my own bills, but when I saw that, I was like, no, I can't let that go. So we did take care of that. Everything else is going well. Obviously, I'd love to have 10, 12 more guys down there so we can get more work done, but the guys every day are working hard, going out and doing a good job. So we're hoping that with the cool weather and the grass slowing down that we can get caught up on patching the roads before they quit making pavement altogether.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah.
John, what area are you guys targeting for?
We're looking at Thornton, McGregor, and then McCameron between McGregor and Farrell. That road's coming apart quite a bit, so we're just worried about plowing it. You know, if you have roads that are crumbling and you run a plow over them, they tend to come up. We did a little work on McCameron recently, and we have some alternatives, and there's 4 culverts, main culverts that cross Thornton, so we did put some alternatives in the bid packet to replace those as well. I don't want to pave the road and then 2 years down the road have to dig it up or, you know, have to replace any kind of structure under the road. So that's the target. We've got for next year, we've got several streets that are not in real good shape, but we're knocking them out one by one, and it's just a matter of you know, trying to prioritize which ones we do first.
Sure.
But we're getting caught up. We've done quite a bit.
I've got one more thing too. On the Plainfield ordeal in Crest Hill, was there intergovernmental agreement with that?
Yes, there was an IGA. We did it a while ago, so I couldn't give you the particulars on it, but I think it was just that we were going to cooperate, go out for bid, and be charged for just our portion.
And I guess that leads up to my next question. And who was responsible for the bidding?
Plainfield was the lead on the project,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
They had a grant to redo, I don't know the subdivision because it's not in our territory,
Sunnyvale?
Sunnyland? Sunnyland had a bunch of flooding problems, and I think they got the block grant, didn't they, or?
Yes, years ago, they've been
So
working on it for
this was
years.
part of their block grant, so they were gonna do their section of Gaylord, and it just made sense. I think Crest Hill had a very small section. We had a little bit bigger, but they had the majority of it, so they were taking the lead based on the money that they received on the grant. They were doing their section anyways and asked us to come on board.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any citizens here wishing to address the board for the highway department tonight? All right. Please state your name.
I'm Carl Beveridge. I've lived here for about 39 years, in Lockport Township, 17551 West Oak Avenue. For Highway Department, just one question. Is there any way that you could lock in rates for next year, this year, and thereby maybe achieve some cost savings for road projects?
Boy, that's a great question. I believe if I want to say yes. I believe if I go out for bid for something this year, they will hold the prices for a certain amount of time, and that could be negotiated in with the contract. Whether or not they'll do that or not, I don't know, because there's a lot on both sides. First of all, they don't know what's going to happen next year, and with the budget, I don't know what's going to happen next year either.
Yeah.
So I would hesitate to kind of put money into next year's road projects before I know exactly where my budget's going to be. The budget gets approved in March. I understand what you're saying, and I think it's a great idea, because if the state releases a budget and the prices go up, then we're paying more than we want to.
And you'd like to, right, because you have different road sections mapped out, I imagine, for the next several years and so on, and to the extent that some of those could be locked in at a favorable price now, obviously that's to everyone's benefit.
Yeah, you know what, that's a great, yeah, I will inquire about that and see. I just hate, I totally agree 100%. I got to say this the proper way. I'm a little bit nervous about locking in monies in the budget for next year when I'm not sure what that budget's going to be.
Going to be.
I mean, this year we were fortunate enough, we saved a lot of money, so in my MOA, which is the line we pull out of, last year we had about 320,000 in there. We saved enough money where we had about 500,000 in there. So we did a road project in the spring. We did the Gaylord Road project, and now we're going to do another project. The streets I named we're guessing around $240,000. So we're going to be down really low in that, but because the prices are low, I'm willing to take the risk this budget to say, okay, we're only going to use maybe 50,000 of that money left until March or April when the budget gets passed.
And I'll broaden that question to the supervisor and the trustees at large. You have different pots of money. are there some creative things that are legal that you could do to maybe make that possible so that overall we're
highway?
achieving cost savings?
For the highway department?
Yes.
As a board, the only thing we can do with the highway is approve his budget in March. He's his own entity. He can come to the board and ask for monies in our annual town meeting, which we've done that before, plenty of times. I think over the last 10 years, 12 years now, we've given the highway department over $1 million.
But that next meeting won't take place until when, April, something like that?
April, it's usually April, the second week of April, second
And
Tuesday of April.
I'm just wondering if there aren't some ways that you could show that significant savings would be achieved by locking in prices at current rates, that where there would be a means of funds being made available to satisfy.
If I may, could I?
Sure.
In construction, that would be a great ordeal. I know we had a florist in town at one time that used to be able to lock in flowers for 2 years, or roses, let's just say. But in construction, raw materials alone are so unpredictable that to lock in now and to say that we're gonna have that cost savings go over into the next year, you don't know what's gonna happen. Just take a look at oil alone that goes into the asphalt, okay? If it goes up, the square footage goes up, the square yards go up as well. So it's hard to say that they're gonna let us lock in, especially for those types of raw materials that go into asphalt.
I understand that, but at
If
the
I
same
may-
time, it is a competitive marketplace, and
Yep.
I'm just stressing that we should try to take advantage of those situations if they present
I agree
themselves.
100%, and I love the creative stuff. What I'll do is I'll give Joliet Township a call, because they just recently gave their highway commissioner $800,000 for roads. I don't know how they did it. I'm just putting that out there. He may have asked for it and then they approved it. I don't know what that is, but they mentioned something similar to that as, hey, we've got this abundance of money, let's give it to you. Now, I don't know if he's
Saves
gonna.
20, 30, 40, $50,000.
Now, speaking out of
That's great
school,
for
I don't know if he's
taxpayers.
gonna have to pay that back over so many years. I don't know what the deal is, but I'll find out for you, and I'd be more than happy. If you can give me your number, or you wanna give me a call down there, I'd be more than happy to.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Were you also the one that was looking for the horse signs?
Oh, you have a sharp.
I have them there. No. I ordered them, and I didn't know how to get a hold of you, so I do have horse signs there.
I'll get you the information.
Unfortunately, on Bruce Road, I mentioned at the last meeting, we did have a horse get hit, and Ryder.
I know,
and,
yeah, that was a
There
strange
was,
situation.
yeah, that's,
You know,
but anyways, if you can contact me, or at least give me your number before you leave, I'd like to get those horse signs up, because they're sitting there waiting, so I just wasn't sure.
Terrific.
Where you guys wanted them.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Carl. Any other citizens wishing to address the highway department tonight? Hearing none, I have no other business. I don't believe we need to go to an executive session. I would call for an adjournment. I got a motion by John Badasich,
I'll second it.
second by Michael Lewandowski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. All right, we'll be moving into our general assistance fund. Again, in your packet, you should have received the minutes for the last meeting, monthly meeting of September 12th for the general assistance. I do need a motion to pass the minutes.
I'll make it.
I got a motion by John Badasich,
I'll second it.
second by Michael Lewandowski. Thank you very much. Any questions of the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. In our bills for the general assistance this month, we have $6,973.97. I do need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make the motion.
I got a motion by Barbara Boyce,
Second.
second by John? By John Badasich. Any questions of the bills? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Lewandowski.
Yes.
Badasich.
Yes.
Alberico.
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Morelli.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I don't have it on my agenda, but everybody should have also received their financial monthly report for September. New applications were taken out, 4. Applications not returned were 2. Applications obviously returned were 2. Number of applications from previous months were 5, so a total of applications of 7. of the returned applications, waiting for more information right now is 2. Number of applications to be processed is 2. Only other thing, we did have applications approved for general assistance last month was 1 more than we had the month before of 7, so we're up to 8. And we had 2 emergency assistance last month. 2 emergency assistants. 1 requalified. So we have a total of 2 emergency assistants and 9 on regular general assistance. So that's our general assistance. I have no other business. Any citizens wishing to address the board for general assistance here tonight? Seeing none, I have no other business in general assistance. I would make a motion, I would accept a motion to adjourn. I got a motion by John Badisich,
I'll second it.
second by Barbara Boyce. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Moving on, we're going to our senior fund. We have the minutes again in your packet for the monthly meeting of September 12th. I would need a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
I got a motion by Barbara Boyce and a second by Michael Lewandowski. Any questions of the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, you have the bills of $13,838. I do need a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
I got a motion by John Badisich,
Second.
a second by Barbara Boyce. Any questions of the bills tonight?
Ron, I don't know if it's reference to bills, but we were talking about the buses last month.
Yes.
Based on that.
Right.
And I know you called me the other day. Was there anything decided on that, if we are going to go with the vans, or?
The bus drivers looked at them too and sat in them, and really, it's their opinion and my opinion, and actually Michelle's and Jackie's, who kind of do the dispatching of the buses, that we're, at this point in time, I think we're better off keeping the 2 buses that we have, because it's easier for them to get in and out of. Right now, the step getting into that van that we can get is probably about almost a foot to get up in there. And then you have a situation where once they get in there, then they're going to hit their head on the top. If they go up the lift in the back, there is a latch that comes down right in the center that the lift hooks into, and it's right there, boy. And I'm telling people if we're going to do it, we're going to have to tell them to grab hold of that, because otherwise they're going to smack their head on that. And I'm also worried with, if we have somebody in a walker that we pick up first and comes up the lift and we load them onto the bus, and then we have somebody with a wheelchair that gets on next, we load them up on the bus, we drive them, the walker has to get off, we have to take the wheelchair off, bring the lift back up, get the walker off, get her into where she needs to be, get the wheelchair back on, get her in and back into the bus, and bring her to, or them, whoever. So it's a lot of extra work in this with the vans. Right now, my opinion is, and I've been talking, and really, I'm not driving the buses, and I don't want to be the one to make that decision. I think it should be the bus drivers and the residents. So it's, because this is a service for our residents, I want to make it the easiest for the residents. I would like to rent 2 buses. The same price as the vans. We might as well get the buses and make it easier for everybody, and we'll get 1 van for the backup. That's the way I'm kind of looking
So you're
right now.
saying that Pace has the same type of buses that?
We'll,
we have
again,
now?
the buses will be on a waiting list, ready. We own our buses, so it's not costing anything to have, so we could, rather than rent something that's not going to be convenient, let's keep our buses. They're not breaking down lately. Until the buses come available, then we can sell our buses and buy a van, is my thought.
Does that affect that ordinance you guys passed to use the vans?
Well, it's not an ordinance, it's a...
Or what- I mean, whatever you-
It was a, it's just an agreement with Pace, and Pace said nothing is concrete with us. We can rent whatever we want from them as long as we're accepted into that program.
I just didn't know if they'd force you into
Right,
doing
no.
something like that.
We are accepted into the program, so I'd like to get what's best for our residents.
In reference to that, Ron, excuse me, I have to give a shout out to the bus drivers because I witnessed one of the bus drivers helping a handicapped disabled resident into a van. And I just want to thank them because I go unnoticed as far as what they do out there for our residents and our seniors. And like I said, I saw it firsthand and I was just very, just
Impressed?
yeah, I may be very proud of our bus drivers and what they do out there for our seniors. They carry their groceries in, they just do a lot, and just a shout out, thank you to them.
That's really nice, and you kind of bring up a point that they really do go above and beyond. Our drivers do, and our dispatchers do. I get phone calls at least once a week complimenting how friendly and how nice it is to call. I don't want to mention names, but, you know.
So if those PACE vans cannot accommodate our residents that are disabled and handicapped, then obviously. it's not
Well,
good.
I mean, obviously, they could accommodate them, but not as user-friendly. So I want to stay user-friendly with our residents at this point.
I know one of the reasons we were going to the vans was just because it would be a little easier for the drivers to get in and out of driveways and stuff.
That was the first original. We were worried about going in and out of driveways, but we're really a curb to curb. And I think what the rule is going to be is you don't pull into a driveway. You go to the curb, you wait on the road, so we don't have to back out.
And there's that much difference between our buses right now and those vans?
Oh, from the buses,
as far
yes,
as
yeah.
the step-
Right. Well, I built the step for our residents right now, which is just I want to say it's a 4-inch. So, and that's about halfway, so it's an 8-inch step up there. On the bus, I put that step, on the van, I'm sorry, I put that step up next to it, and there was, you know, the 4 inches, and then it was probably another 7 or 8 inches up to the van. And that's to the, what do you call the, running board, and then there's another step above that to get into the van.
I mean, I don't know, Lance, maybe you know, like for steps, you know, like in a residence, I mean, isn't it pretty much just all basic, like a 8-inch step or something like that?
What I like, if you're gonna ask my personal opinion, I like that low step on that low first step on the buses, they're going to accommodate seniors actually with the handrail. Those vans, I don't care who you are, you can be in the best shape of your life, if you've got to go through the middle and try to call back to some of them seats, it's even difficult for someone in their 30s and 40s, so I do like those them lower step buses, so you guys remember during the parade, I hurt my heel and I had a hard time getting in and out, and I can tell that first step was accommodating, so it's just personal opinion. But, and the rail being there too helps our bus drivers get them in and out as well. So, yeah, I don't like the vans at all.
I just think the buses are more user-friendly, and if they're the same price per month.
Right. And Ronnie, how is the ones that we have?
The buses we have, they're 3 years old, I believe now. They're starting to get up in miles. We do have to start considering replacing them. That's why I went with this PACE thing. I think it'd be nice. We had a lot of problems with one of our buses there for the first 6 months we had it, but it was all, what do you want, the dealer.
And now our buses, they're handicap accessible, correct?
Oh, yes, yeah,
Now,
handicap.
What about the vans?
They're handicapped accessible, sure, they got a lift, wheelchair lift on of them, all of them. They're all equal in that way, it's just, you know, the bus is taller, you can walk in it. Any other questions on the buses? Okay, hearing none, I forget where I was. The bills? I think we got a motion and a second for the bills.
Yeah, the
would,
bills have already been, yes.
I need a roll call on that. Right?
I believe we've already gone through the
No, not the roll call.
Not the roll call?
The
Okay.
question came up during the,
Okay. Lewandowski.
Yes.
Odisich.
Yes.
Alberico.
yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Morelli.
Yes.
All right. On a new business, I did want to bring up, actually, it's old business, but the shingle shots, we did have money after we did our shingle shots back in August. We had extra money, so we did reach out to people who wanted them. We are doing our next shingle shot day is tomorrow over at the two drugstores, the Walgreens in Crest Hill and the Walgreens in Lockport here. If, after it's all said and done, there's more money in the coffers that warrant more people, we will be reaching out again, because I would like to reach out to as many as we can with the funding that we have for the shingle shots this year. We're whittling it down. We won't know what we have until we do all the shingle shots and all the insurances are paid and we pay the difference. So I would ask anybody that would be interested to maybe call the office. I'm not guaranteeing there'll be a lot of positions left, but there should be one or two left. We can get a couple more people in there for this year. And again, that's another one of those programs that I get so many compliments on, and so many people are so thankful that we do this for, because shingle shots could be pretty expensive, and it can be a pretty devastating disease for a senior. So I'm glad we're able to do it. I'm hoping to be able to do that again next year when we do our budget. I don't see why we're not going to.
And tomorrow at both places, it's full.
It's full for the, yeah, for this time. And like I said, as soon as I find out what the total is, I'm going to reach out and start reaching for, to spend the rest of them funding on that. The only other thing I have, we did have our senior breakfast today, tomorrow, and the next day. Today's was very successful. We had a good crowd. I believe we have a full house tomorrow and a full house on Wednesday, so we're looking forward to the breakfast. We are planning probably to do the breakfast again next year. I would ask people to give us about 3 weeks to get everything organized for the next year's breakfast, and you can start calling and making your reservations. I did attend Emily McCasey's senior event over in Romeoville last Friday, and it was a very good program. They had a lot of vendors there. It was very nice. I believe we had representation from the clerk's office, and we had representation from the assessor's office there, and it was a nice day. Other than that, I have no other business. Any citizens wishing to address the senior fund tonight? Hearing none, I guess we could go, I would call for an adjournment. I got a motion by John Badasich and a second by Kowski. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. All right, next on the agenda here is the town fund. Everybody should have received in their packet the minutes of the regular September 12th meeting and the workshop of September 22nd. I do need a motion to pay the bills.
The minutes.
The minute.
I'm sorry, the minutes. I meant the minutes. I got a motion by John Badasich and a second by Michael. Did I hear you say that?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. I'm sorry, I thought I heard you. Second by Michael Lewandowski. Any questions of the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, thank you. You have the bills in front of you of $337,123.24. I do need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make the motion.
I got a motion by Barb Boyce
Second.
and a second by John Badasich. Any questions of the bills?
Yeah, I have one, Ronnie.
Sure.
On our project over at the new building, 13 construction, how are we incrementing their payout on the percentage of the construction, or how do we know?
It's an 8%.
No, I understand of the bill.
Of the
but
total,
Are we
yeah.
giving them increments
We're
based
giving
on
them-
percentage?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
In increments. Any other questions of the bills? Can I have a roll call, please?
Lewandowski.
Yes.
Bodisich.
Yes.
Alberico.
Yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Morelli.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, we'll bypass the assessor's report since she was unable to be here tonight. We'll go on to the clerk's report.
So, Ron, as you know, we have an amended budget on display at the clerk's office. It has been on display for a week now, or, I'm sorry, since Friday. There is a public hearing that is scheduled for November 7th at 6:30 PM. This amended budget public notice on that was put in the newspaper. It is online, and there will be action taken at 7 PM on Monday, November 7th.
All right.
And with that, I'm going to go on to talk about early voting, which is coming up very quickly. So early voting is going to take place on October 24th through November 7th from 9 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. On Saturday, we'll be there from 9 to noon, and Saturday, November 5th from 9 to 1. If you can't make it to the polls, please come and early vote, or you can absentee vote, or which it really is vote by mail. You can call our office to get an absentee ballot, and we will call the county, and it will be sent out. They had 9,000 ballots sent out on Thursday. So that's, and we still have about 6 weeks to go. Well, not 4 weeks. So that's, yeah, it's encouraging. So with that being said, I do want to say that there was a same-day registration will be no more at the polls. So their injunction prohibiting Election Day registration was signed on September 27th, 2016 by U.S. District Court Judge. However, an appeal may overturn this ruling. So as of right now, there will be no more same-day registration at the polls on November 8th. If you want any more information, please go to Will County Clerk's website, and it will take you to a link. But there still will be grace period voting, and that takes place October 12th through November 8th. And the last day to register to vote is October 11th. I was out Lockport East High School today and registered about 10 seniors, got some absentee ballots, so that was encouraging. Thursday we'll be at Caroline Lakes, and then Sunday I'm going to be at Grace Baptist Church registering voters. So it's come along. It's coming up quick too. So Will County will come out to set up all of our equipment on the 11th of October. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to kind of move the office around to accommodate the large crowd that we suspect. So other than that, I think that's all for early voting. I do have talk about that wellness clinic, which will be on October 20th from 9 to 1 at Advanced Pediatric Care. So if you have anybody for wellness checks, school, sports physicals, please give us a call and we'll get you signed up for that. And I think that's all, Ron.
All right.
I had a quick question. That budget
Yes.
meeting is in Ron's office?
That
Or is it
budget,
in here?
that budget meeting will be in here,
In here?
yes.
The public hearing?
Yeah, the public hearing?
Is that what you're
Yeah,
asking?
yeah.
Public hearing will be here.
And what page published in?
That was in the labor record.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it is on our website.
Cool.
All right, thank you very much. Trustees' comments or suggestions tonight? Hearing none, I'll go on to the Central Square report, which isn't a very big report, but we haven't had our monthly meeting because our October meeting in the town here has moved up a week. We haven't gotten our Central Square meeting done this month yet, but we have talked, and right now, at this point in time, we aren't planning on any other capital improvements on this building, with us leaving here pretty quick, I think. And the Park District also signing off and giving the building to Lockport. I think we're going to stop doing any major capital improvements on the building until the city takes it over. Unless something major happens between now and there and the roof collapses, we'll have to fix that, but we're not planning anything, we're not planning any major work. Other than that, I have nothing else in Central Square report. Going on to new business, we have a couple of things to approve here. The first one should have been in your packet. It's Lockport, I think it's the Chamber of Commerce is doing this. And I did send a little thing in your flyer in your packet. They're looking to do what they're calling for Halloween trunk or treat. They're asking that organizations or government entities could bring a car over there or a truck. I think what we're going to do is bring our bus over there, and they're going to give us $250 worth of treats or something to that extent.
$250 worth of candy.
With a candy or whatever, 250 pieces of candy.
Pieces.
All right.
Sorry, I said dollars also.
Yeah. And they're gonna, we'll pass it out, it'll be something fun for the kids, basically. It's a $50 registration, and I just thought I'd bring it to this board and see if you guys want to go ahead and do that. And I think we got everything in motion to do it, so I need a motion. For it? Yes, we do.
I'll make the motion.
I got a motion by John Badisich,
I'll second it.
a second by Barbara Boyce. All in favor? Or let me have a roll call, I'm sorry.
Lewandowski,
Yes.
Ladisich.
Yes.
Alberico.
Yes.
Boyce,
Yes.
Morelli.
Ron, I had one question about it. What I'm reading here, it says that you could also maybe contribute 250, is that what we're gonna do, or no? Are we just,
No, we're gonna bring a car over there, the bus.
okay.
We're
Buy
not-
the
we're not
$50
gonna be a
registration.
sponsor.
What's that?
That's for sponsorship.
Yeah.
I want to be a sponsor.
We weren't planning on sponsoring, would you
yes.
like to?
I think the sponsorship had to be in
Because this is this Sunday.
earlier than that, Dean.
All right. Yes.
All right.
Should we plan on that for next year? Make that something that we should look forward to, or?
Well, we could. There has been talk about doing something at our building for Halloween next year when we're in our building. So I'd like to keep all things open. So, all right. Thank you very much for accepting that. Next on the agenda, we have the compensation ordinance of 2016-5, ordinance amending the compensation for Lockport Township officials. You want me to read this? Should I read this whole thing? I could.
I don't think you have to, Gary, you looked over here.
Gary wrote it up for us and approved it. Basically, it's giving a 3% raise to the 4 full-time positions for the next 4 years. So I need a motion to pass the ordinance.
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion by John Badisich,
I'll second.
second by Barbara Boyce. Any questions?
Yeah, Ron, I actually have a question. I apologize, I did not make the meeting, the workshop, and I apologize about that. I was just looking over this. Is this 3% a year, like compounded, or is it 3% from the base beginning salary, and then they just keep adding that? So it's 3% and then 3% on top of that? Okay, so it's a little more than 12. I know I just had some questions, I just seeing this now. And the collector is getting $50 a meeting?
Yeah, it was decided to, since the collector does come to these meetings, just the ones he attends.
And just for clarification, it's only one meeting per night.
One, yeah,
Except we get.
right, it's not all 4,
Five.
5 meetings, right. The highway commissioners meeting, it's one,
Yeah.
just so it's understood.
3% compounding, it's just like when you give your guys a raise, I think they got 3% this year. Same thing, if they get 3% next year, or 2.5, or 3.5, it's just,
Yeah.
it's compounding.
You guys don't think that's 12% over one term? I just think that's a little excessive, just based on, the economy and government. Do we know how many dollars that takes out of the budget over the 4 years? Like what the actual dollar amount is?
13,000?
Yeah.
13,000, I think it was something.
All right. Yeah, my other comment, just a collector without responsibilities, I mean, like, I know he's here, but I don't know, we've never done that in the past. Just was surprised to see it, but.
Okay. All right, any other questions from the board?
Did the public raise any questions concerning that area?
When we get to the citizens wishing to address the board, yes.
This will already be passed at that point, correct?
I know, but this is a board decision. This is a board decision, and this is not, this is the board's decision to make. We have to do it at, what is it, 190 days before the election.
The public weighing in, having an opportunity to.
He's out of order.
You are out of order. This is the board decision. You can approach the board during the comment section. That's.
What's the time to approach the board?
I'm sorry, you're out of order. Please, we run the meeting the right way. Any other questions?
Ron, did we get a printout of what that would be then, as far as salary-wise? I know we got something in the workshop, but that's not the one we go by, correct? Or is it? This is?
This is the one that Gary wrote up
one we
after
got in the
our
workshop,
discussions
that's-
at the meeting.
That's one of the same.
All right, can I have a roll call, please?
Lewandowski.
No.
Barisic.
Yes.
Alberico.
Yes.
Boyce.
Yes.
Morelli.
I'm going to pass.
Okay. 1 no, 3 yeses, and a pass. So the motion carries. All right, moving on. I just want some information I sent in everybody's packet. First, the Pace bus. I got a letter from Pace. Basically, I'm going to try to read this consolidate this as best I can, but as part of the long-term vision of Pace, as part of our long-term vision, Pace is committed to providing northeastern Illinois with transportation options and efficient operations. We currently reevaluated our bus routes network and to improve customer service, safety, and on-time performance to our customers. As you may be aware, Pace customers can now board a bus on most routes by just flagging down a bus where it is safe to do so, regardless of whether the location has a posted bus stop sign or not. In the interest of public safety and efficiency, they're going to change that mode. So basically what this letter is saying, they're now going to start establishing bus stops and bus signs for the stops on all their routes, so you can't flag a bus in the middle of a street anymore. You have to go to the nearest bus stop, which they are at this time posting all their bus stops on the routes that go through our township, which is, I believe, mostly Route 834. So they will be giving more and more information out on this in the next couple of months before they move into that mode. But that's what their plan is. I did receive a letter from the Will County Will County Division of Transportation about a public hearing. Since early 2015, Will County Division of Transportation has been working on an update to update its current long-range transportation plan, known as Will Connects 2040. The plan will serve as the county's roadmap for transportation over the next 25 years. As an elected official, we at Will County Department of Transportation would like to notify you that the Will Connect 2040 plan will be released on the project's website and on September 21st, 2016 for 30-day comment period, ending November 2nd. Will County Department of Transportation also invites you to attend a public hearing, which is for the public, obviously. Similar to an open house format, the public hearing will highlight critical information on display boards, and copies of the draft plan will be available on the site for review. That open house or that public hearing is going to be, there's two of them, October 11th, 4:30 to 7 in New Lenox Village Hall at 1 Veterans Parkway in New Lenox. And the other one is going to be here in Romeoville on October 18th, 4:30 to 7 at the Romeoville Village Hall, 1050 West Romeo Road in Romeoville, Illinois. So if anybody wants to attend those, I think I might go to that. I'd like to see what they're planning. I also received, I'm sorry?
John, will you be going to those?
I believe so.
And I also received from the Illinois Department of Transportation. Illinois Department of Transportation, IDOT, in cooperation with the Village of Romeoville, Bolingbrook, and Plainfield, cordially invite you to attend a public meeting concerning the preliminary engineering environmental studies, Phase 1, for Interstate 55 at Airport Road and Airport Road / Lockport Street. At the current, and currently includes in the department fiscal year of 2017 to 2022, proposed highway improvement program. However, this project will be include in the priorities for the future funding considerations among similar improvements needed throughout the region. So that public hearing is going to be Thursday, October 13th, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Bolingbrook Golf Club at 2001 Rodeo Drive in Bolingbrook. So anybody can attend that also. All right, got through that one. Oh, I wanted to bring up, I had a conversation, a phone call from the food pantry. I know we've talked about the food pantry moving in with our building a few times. They've approached us, we've approached them. We decided to wait a while to see, once we get into the building, we'll make our decisions. But I will tell you that their board voted to move into our building, if we allow them. So my thought is, what I would like to do is start a conversation with them and maybe put together a memorandum of understanding for next month, so, you know, so we can tell them, okay, we feel comfortable, if you feel comfortable, well, let's work this thing out, and I don't want to really do anything until we get into the building and make sure everything works, but I know they want to know if they can count on it. So I think I'm going to have our lawyer, Gary, kind of come up with a memorandum of understanding between them and us. Yeah.
What is the proposed date that they would like to be in, and where are they, what are they doing with the building they're in now, or are they?
I don't know if they have a date as to when they want to move in. I mean, they'll move in as soon as we say, yes, we can let them move in, and we, you know, get the construction done and work it out for them. But I believe where they're at, I don't know if I'm at liberty to say, because I don't know how public it is. I've heard rumor they may be moving out of there. I don't know if the church wants to sell that or what, but I know they're looking to move out of there. So I think we need to understand why or what is going on, and I think that memorandum of understanding will clear all that up. So at least we can get the dialogue going if we are going to move into that direction.
Is the food pantry Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, is that correct?
I believe it is. I think they have one day where they open early and a truck comes in. Any other questions? All right, I will let Gary kind of try to put together a memorandum of understanding between the food pantry and ourselves for next month. Maybe we can, next month I am going to have Jim Naylor here to speak I'll let them talk, so we can ask him questions of what they want, and we can, we can hash it out between us and them. It was always my understanding that I think it'd be a good location for the food pantry. I think, that's what townships do. We help people. We have programs like that, so
Will they be bringing their own refrigeration in? Will they be using ours?
that'll all have to be worked out.
Okay.
Ours, we have none.
A workshop on that, or?
Well, let's get the understanding memorandum. It's got to be worked out. We'll have workshops. I'm sure we'll have plenty of workshops on it before we're not going to make any rash decisions tomorrow on the food pantry moving in. But I do feel it'd be a good fit for us, so. So I will have Jim Naylor here next month. All right, I have no other business and new business. Old business, I did want to bring up the building, as things are going. I did get a letter from Dewberry the other day on their field report, just giving an update, and this is a week old, so a lot of things have changed since then, but right now the elevator foundation pit and shaft walls are built and are all in. Demolition on the building is 99% complete. Floor opening has been cut in for the elevator and the walls removed. Structural steel columns and beams and concrete footings are installed. Much of the conduit has been roughed in and has been completed. Many walls that had drywall removed and for conduit installation contained blown-in insulation. Some of the insulation has fallen out when the drywall was removed, but since these are all interior walls, it's not necessary to replace that insulation, they say. Plumbing is roughed in. The rough-in is in progress throughout the building. Room 221 has a 3-inch PVC drain vent pipe now in the middle of the room due to an existing wall being removed. They're going to work with 13 Construction to relocate that to the north or south wall and provide a bump out in the drywall to cover up that pipe. Dewberry instructed 13 Construction not to locate it in a wall where the stud framing would need to be cut out. The condensating unit for the data room at 106 has been mounted on the outside of the building, as shown in the picture. I don't have the picture here, but they did put that air conditioner that they needed for all our tech equipment. That's been installed. I have been at the building as of today. All the rough-in has been approved by the city. They approved the plumbing, they approved the electric, they approved the studs. Everything's pretty much coming along. I think the drywallers are going to be in the building probably by the end of the week, starting to hang drywall, and we're coming to the closing of the building and starting to clean it up, and I think we'll have painters out there in a couple of weeks painting it up, so it's coming along really quick. I think we're still looking at a target date by about Thanksgiving of moving in, so I'm pretty excited about that, and I think it's coming along really nice. Any questions about the building? Maybe I can answer on that. If I can answer anything, I will. Hearing none, I wanted to bring up the conference, our TOI conference in November. I'm trying to get everybody's, who's going and who's not going. John, I don't have you, but you did tell me, yes, you were going? Yes. Thought so. Dean, you said you were going to go, for sure?
No, I wasn't for sure yet.
Okay.
I know you gotta know by what this week.
I got to know, yeah.
Okay. I'll get all of you.
I'll let you know.
Let me know. I need to know by Friday, or by Thursday.
Right.
So I can get this in here, get the registration. Lance is yes. Michael?
I will go if I can get a ride.
Well, I can't promise you a ride, but I do need to know before Thursday, one way or another. What's that?
What's that?
All right, but I do need to know, one way or another, you know.
And if you are going, I sent you an email out on the lodging, so you have to make sure that you have to make your own lodging, and I think it has to be in by the 11th in order to get the discounted rate
Discount that we
for
got,
lodging. So,
So I believe he's all had an email, it's got a link to it, it's an easy link to go ahead and book your rooms, but we do need to get that done. And I do need to know who's going for sure so I can get the registrations in. In your packet, everybody received a survey from TOI. They're asking you to fill that out if you want and send it in. Or you could fax it in, but I'm sure everybody received it in their packet. Other than that, the other thing I wanted to bring up in TOI real quick, I did talk about it last month, I'm sorry, about the donations for the food pantry there, the Neighbors Helping Neighbors. I'm gonna make a donation myself. This has to be personal donations, it cannot come out of the town fund. But I do need to know who's going and how much you're going to donate, so I can send it all in one check to represent Lockport Township. So if I can get that money in by the end of the week, if anyone else wants to donate, let me know. Other than that, hot off the press is our new newsletter. It should be in your mailboxes if not by the end of the week, next week for sure. They're all being printed right now. It looked like it came out pretty good. Talks about the building. It talks about, John, you got some nice pictures of your plows that they painted. Came out real nice, so I hope, make sure it should be in everybody's mailboxes, like I said, by the end of the week or next week. A lot of good information, a lot of important stuff that the township does. Please read it when you get it in your mailbox. All right, the only other thing I have really is I did get a thank you note from the family of Charlene Strunowski, that we did send flowers to when she passed away this last year. She was a longtime employee of the township. I have nothing else. Any citizens wishing to address the board? Please approach and state your name.
Thank you again. My name is Carl Beveridge. I'm a resident of Lockport Township. I live at 17551 West Oak Avenue. My comments are both to you and to you, the public, all right, whoever happens to be watching now or catches this later. Democracy is work. I'll repeat that. Democracy is work. That means we, the people, you, the people, have a responsibility to hold your public servants accountable. How do you do that? You do that by electing them, by voting, by participating in meetings, and by challenging them. All right? A little while ago, I engaged in a small act of civil disobedience. Well, I'm 74 years old, so I'm kind of your elder in a way, and I grew up in an age of civil disobedience. I didn't intend it to be malicious or anything like that, but I do feel that when you're asking the voters to accept a pay increase, you owe the voters some justification for that. I'm not saying it's out of line or in line, all right? Like you, because I am also a public servant in a different venue, all right? I went through 4 years with no pay increase, as you did, all right? So I know what it feels like. And I know that the increases that have taken place since that 4 years haven't been commensurate with the cost of living, but at least I'm grateful for that. As a highway commissioner, you challenged that 3%. Now, there's a couple of ways to look at that 3%. It is compounded year upon year for 4 years, okay? Same token, you didn't have a raise for 4 years, so you might look at it as an 8-year stretch and amortize it over that, all right? However you want to do the calculations, I do believe that you as supervisor, Ron, you owe it to the public to explain why it's necessary, why it's fair, what the rationale was for selecting the 3% versus some other percent. And we, the people, haven't had that. But I feel that it is something that you do owe the public, and that's why I have a concern about the process by which that raise is enacted. It's adopted before the public is really weighing in with comment upon it. And I'd kind of like to see that process changed to accommodate that. Now, maybe the time to do that was the time that the ordinance was adopted. I don't know. I'm as challenged to attend meetings as anybody, and I'm as remiss as most of you are in attending meetings. But it is our obligation to try to do that and to stay abreast of the actions being taken by our elected officials, whether it is in regard to raises or in regard to other public matters. So that's what I have to say about that. I would hope that you would take that into consideration looking forward to next year and maybe doing this in a little different fashion. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your comment. I do appreciate it. I will say that it's state statute that we do have to adopt an ordinance by it's
80 days before.
180 days before the election. It's state statute. We have to do that, and that's why, and it's only once every 4 years that we do this.
That part's understood. It's just the order in which it's adopted and
That, again, is state,
has a chance to weigh in on that process.
again, that's state statute, how we adopt our ordinances. You know, we adopt our ordinances.
Probably need to look at state ordinances or how the state processes the adoption of ordinances. That's
That would be a state issue, I would guess.
the reverse of how it should be. I mean, how else can you decide what's appropriate?
Well, I understand. I appreciate your comment. Thank you. I don't want to get into a debate.
No, so I think
Sir?
Carl, probably, there was a workshop held with the Board of Trustees that they did discuss salaries and length. And it was open to the public, so that was just, last week, I believe.
22nd,
Yes.
I believe.
There is numerous, I mean, like you stated, the amount of the raise, less of a raise, no raises for 4 years, how do you look at it, 1.5% for every year, the last 8 years, so all that was discussed. And the only ones that are receiving a raise up here are our full-time elected officials. Trustees are not, you know, the supervisor, assessor, clerk, and highway commissioner.
At the time that you're presenting that to the board, the ordinance, all right, discussing the whereas and wherefores and so on might be an appropriate action. Would that be inconsistent with adopting the ordinance?
So you're saying, basically what we're doing now is explaining that prior to adopting the ordinance, so you would have a better understanding of what occurred.
Communicate to the public
Understood.
your rationale for doing what you're doing. and
Understood.
for
Understood.
Yeah.
the electorate and government.
Again, though, you had your time at the podium, and I appreciate all your comments and that, but I do want to stay within the rules of order, and that's what I'm really trying to do here. Keep the meeting within the Robert's Rules of Order like we're supposed to. Any other citizens wishing to address the board? Please stand up and come to the podium and state your name.
Good evening, Mr. Alberico and council. Barbara Delaney, 2209 Greengold Street in Crest Hill. Just to add to the concerns, I think the viewing public and some other citizens would have what Carol had brought up earlier, is for clarification, the 4 positions that will be getting the 3% raise over the next 4 years are just the 4 full-time positions, which are the supervisor, the township clerk, highway commissioner, and what was the 4th? I'm sorry?
The assessor's
The
office.
assessor's office, okay. Just a question, I did a little bit of research when, of course, I had a few phone calls of concerned people. Is comparison with surrounding townships that their demographics are pretty similar. Wheatland Township, for example, their supervisor position annually is being paid $29,000 a year. and the clerk's position is at $11,000 a year. Right now, Lockport Township Supervisor, current position, is $65,227 a year. And the clerk's position annually is $59,400 a year. That's almost 3 times, 4 times as much. And then in addition to, over the next 4 years, you will be getting a 3% raise. I just think it would be nice if you guys did a little bit more due diligence, as Carol said, informing the public, getting the word out more, so they understand the process that you have to go through before this decision is made. And that's really all I had to say. Okay? Thank you.
So, I'm sorry, Barb, Wheatland Township, we did a survey of townships in the area. In fact, the Township Officials of Illinois does a survey with all the townships in the state of Illinois. And as a board, we received that survey, and we did get to see what other township officials were being paid. So what we base our pay on is not, is the assessed valuation of the township. I believe that's.
EVA,
Yes,
yes.
the EVA and how many parcels we have. And so we use townships that are close in proximity with those parcels. So, just so you're understanding.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other citizens wishing to address the board here tonight? Okay, hearing none, I have no other business tonight. I would ask for an adjournment.
So moved.
I got a motion by John Badisich, a second by Michael Lewandowski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
I thought you left. I'm like, don't go. I want to get these signs up.